What if a silent thief could steal your future in mere minutes? Discover the power to protect what matters most. Imagine a perfectly ordinary evening. You're laughing with family, maybe watching your favorite show, completely immersed in the simple comfort of home. Dinner is winding down, conversations flow easily. Then, in a single, terrifying moment, something feels wrong. Your arm feels heavy, unresponsive. Words become a garble. Panic sets in, not just for you, but for those around you, seeing the fear in their eyes. This isn't just a medical emergency. It's a thief, attempting to steal your independence, your memories, even who you are. The future you envisioned, the life you've built, suddenly hangs in the balance. But what if you held the power to stop this thief? What if you could recognize its subtle approach, understand its cunning tactics, and equip yourself with the knowledge to fight back? This isn't just about statistics or complex medical terms. It's about protecting your story, your loved ones, and the precious moments still to come. In this video, we're not just exploring a health crisis. We're arming you with the crucial insights to navigate this silent predator, from prevention to immediate action and beyond. We'll dive into what happens minute by minute, the hidden warnings, and the remarkable breakthroughs that can turn the tide. Prepare to discover the simple yet life-changing truths that empower you to be the hero in your own story or for someone you cherish. Have you ever wondered what you'd do in a medical emergency like this? Share your thoughts below. So, how exactly does this silent thief operate, and what truly happens inside your brain when a stroke strikes? What if the most crucial decision of your life had to be made in minutes, without you even realizing it? We just painted a picture of a life-altering moment, a moment so sudden, so disorienting, it reshapes everything. It's the stark reality for millions worldwide. One minute, you're vibrant, fully present. The next, your own body feels alien, a stranger to your commands. But the horror isn't just yours. Imagine your spouse, your child, your parent, watching helplessly as you struggle. Their mind races. What's happening? Why can't they speak? Will they ever be the same? The questions pile up, unanswered, turning confusion into raw panic. This isn't just a physical ailment, it's a silent invasion, a thief not just of health, but of connection, of shared futures, of the very essence of who we are. It steals independence, clarity, and sometimes the opportunity for a final goodbye. But here's the powerful truth. This doesn't have to be the end of the story. What if, in those critical minutes, you had the knowledge, the clarity to fight back? What if you could turn that terrifying moment of helplessness into a turning point for hope? This video is your guide to understanding this unthinkable moment, not as a destined tragedy, but as a battle you can absolutely prepare for, and ultimately win. Have you or someone you know experienced a sudden, inexplicable moment like this? Share your story in the comments. These moments of terror often leave us wondering what truly just happened. Let's peel back the layers and understand the science behind stroke so you're never caught unaware again. What if the most crucial decision of your life had to be made in minutes, without you even realizing it? Last time, we explored that unthinkable moment when life takes an unexpected turn. But what exactly is happening inside your brain during those critical seconds and minutes? Understanding this isn't about scaring you, it's about empowering you, giving you the clarity to act decisively. Imagine your brain as the most complex city on Earth, powered by a sophisticated network of roads, your blood vessels, tirelessly delivering oxygen and nutrients to every single building, every neuron. When a stroke occurs, this vital supply chain is suddenly disrupted, and there are two main ways this can happen. The first, and by far the most common, is an ischemic stroke, making up about 85% of all cases. Picture a bustling highway. Suddenly, a major road is completely blocked by a massive traffic jam, a blood clot. This clot can form elsewhere in the body and travel to the brain, or it can form directly in one of your brain arteries. The brain tissue downstream from that blockage, starved of blood and oxygen, begins to die within minutes. It's like a sudden power outage in an entire neighborhood. Everything just shuts down. piece by precious piece. The second type, less common but often more deadly, is a hemorrhagic stroke, accounting for about 15% of cases. Instead of a blockage, imagine a pipe bursting right inside that bustling city. A weakened blood vessel ruptures, spilling blood directly into the delicate brain tissue. This leaked blood isn't just toxic, it creates immense pressure, literally crushing surrounding brain cells. It's a double whammy. Vital blood flow is interrupted, and the internal bleeding causes direct, widespread damage. Sometimes, though rarely, strokes can be caused by other less common factors, like an arterial dissection, a tear in a blood vessel wall, or certain blood clotting disorders. But no matter the cause or type, the devastating truth remains the same. Time is brain. This isn't just a catchy phrase, it's a brutal reality. Every single minute that passes during a stroke, an estimated 1.9 million brain cells die. Think about that. In the time it takes to send a few text messages, millions upon millions of your most precious cells, those responsible for your memories, your movements, your very personality, are gone forever. That's why every second counts. Now, you might be thinking, this only happens to older people, or I'm healthy so I'm safe. Unfortunately, these are dangerous misconceptions. While age is a significant factor, strokes can and do affect people of all ages, even young adults and children. And being healthy doesn't automatically grant immunity if underlying risk factors like unmanaged high blood pressure, undiagnosed diabetes, or even certain genetic predispositions are silently at play. We'll dive into those preventable risk factors in more detail soon. For now, what's crucial is recognizing that a stroke is a sudden, unsparing attack on your brain, and understanding its mechanism is your absolute first line of defense. Did anything about the science of stroke surprise you? Let me know in the comments below. Armed with this foundational understanding of what happens internally, the next vital step is to identify the external signs. So, how can you spot a stroke in its tracks, and what is your emergency toolkit to respond? What if your simple knowledge of 6 letters could become the most powerful shield for someone you love? We've just unveiled the inner workings of a stroke and the brutal truth that time is brain. But knowing this science isn't enough. You need an immediate, actionable toolkit. This is where the life-saving secret of Be Fast comes in. It's a simple, unforgettable acronym that empowers anyone, yes, even you, to spot a stroke in its tracks and act decisively. Let's break it down. First, B stands for balance. Has the person suddenly lost their balance, coordination, or are they experiencing dizziness? They might look like they're drunk, but they haven't had a drop of alcohol. Next, E is for eyes. Are they experiencing sudden blurred vision, double vision, or a complete loss of vision in one or both eyes? This can be very disorienting. Then F is for face drooping. Ask them to smile. Is one side of their face numb or drooping? Does their smile look uneven? This is often one of the most visible signs. Following that, A is for arm weakness. Ask them to raise both arms equally. Does one arm drift downward? Can they not lift one arm at all? The weakness can be subtle or profound. Next, S is for speech difficulty. Ask them to repeat a simple sentence like, "The sky is blue." Are their words slurred, strange, or completely incomprehensible? Do they struggle to find words or understand what you're saying? And finally, the most critical letter of all, T for time. If you see even one of these signs, don't wait. Don't see if it passes. Don't assume it's just stress or fatigue. This is a medical emergency. Call 911 immediately. And here's a crucial detail. Try to remember the exact time the symptoms started. This information is vital for the medical team. Now, let me share a story. Maria was having her usual afternoon tea with her mother, Elena, a spry 72-year-old. As Elena recounted a story, Maria noticed a slight lopsidedness in her mother's smile.
Elena brushed it off. "Oh, I'm just tired." But Maria, remembering Be Fast from a video she'd watched, gently asked her mother to raise both arms. One arm wavered and slowly drifted down. Panic welled up, but Maria stayed calm. She instantly called 911, explicitly stating, "I think my mother is having a stroke. Her face is drooping and her arm is weak." She noted the time. The ambulance arrived within minutes. Elena was rushed to the hospital, and thanks to Maria's quick thinking and knowledge of Be Fast, doctors were able to administer life-saving treatment within the critical time window. Elena made a remarkable recovery, her future safeguarded by 6 simple letters and her daughter's courage. The biggest mistake you can make when spotting these signs? Delay. Every minute, as we now know, millions of brain cells are dying. Don't drive yourself or a loved one to the hospital. Paramedics can begin critical assessments and alert the hospital while en route, saving precious minutes. Your emergency toolkit is simple. Be fast. And remember, you are the first responder, the first line of defense. Your awareness and rapid response are the superpowers that can literally save a brain and a life. What's one letter of Be Fast you'll commit to memory today? Let me know in the comments. Now that you're armed with the Be Fast test, what if your body gives you a whisper before the storm? A subtle warning that many miss. Let's uncover the secrets of mini strokes. What if your body gave you a fleeting whisper before a devastating storm and you tragically missed it? Now that you're armed with the Be Fast test, what if your body gives you a whisper before the storm, a subtle warning that many miss? Let's uncover the secrets of mini strokes. You see, while the Be Fast test helps us identify a full-blown stroke, there's another crucial player in this story, the transient ischemic attack, or TIA, often called a mini stroke. Unlike a full stroke where blood flow is permanently blocked or a vessel ruptures, a TIA is a temporary interruption of blood supply to the brain. Think of it like a brief, flickering power outage in our brain city. The lights go out for a moment, then come back on. The symptoms of a TIA are exactly like those of a stroke: face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, but here's the critical difference. They're fleeting. They might last only a few minutes or up to an hour and then disappear completely. Many people, feeling better, simply brush it off, thinking, "Oh, it was nothing, just stress," or "I must have been tired." And that, my friends, is a dangerous, potentially life-threatening mistake. Because a TIA isn't nothing. It's your body's urgent, undeniable warning shot. It's a loud alarm bell, signaling that a major stroke is likely just around the corner, waiting to strike. Studies show that up to 15% of people who experience a TIA will have a full stroke within 3 months, and half of those will happen within 2 days. Let me tell you about Chi-Lan, a bustling accountant in her late 40s. One morning, while reviewing reports, her right hand suddenly felt weak and her vision blurred for about 5 minutes. It was unsettling, but then it passed. Must be the long hours, she thought, dismissing it. She didn't call her doctor, didn't mention it to her family. 2 weeks later, Chi-Lan suffered a devastating stroke that left her with permanent speech and mobility issues. The regret she felt and the anguish her family carried, knowing there had been a warning, was profound. If only she had treated that TIA as the emergency it was, her story might have been entirely different. This is why, even if TIA symptoms disappear, you must treat it with the same urgency as a full stroke. Call 911 immediately. Don't wait, don't observe, don't drive yourself. Get medical attention to investigate the underlying cause and take preventative measures. Recognizing and acting on a TIA is your golden opportunity to intercept a potentially catastrophic event. It's truly a whisper before the storm, but if you listen carefully, it can save your future. Have you ever felt a strange, fleeting symptom that you brushed off? It might be worth a second thought now. Share your experiences below. Understanding these warnings is powerful, but what if we could prevent the storm from gathering altogether? Next, we'll dive into how to build your shield against stroke, decoding your personal risk factors. What if your everyday choices are silently building a ticking time bomb? It's time to disarm it. Understanding these warnings, like the whisper before the storm of a TIA, is powerful. But what if we could prevent the storm from gathering altogether?
This is where your power truly lies, in building your personal shield against stroke by decoding your risk factors and adopting proactive prevention strategies. Many people believe stroke is simply a matter of bad luck, an unavoidable fate, but the truth is, a significant number of strokes are preventable, and the power to prevent them often rests squarely in your hands. Let's talk about the silent architects behind many strokes, the modifiable risk factors. First, high blood pressure or hypertension, often called the silent killer. It's a major culprit. Uncontrolled high blood pressure constantly damages your blood vessels, making them stiff and narrow, setting the stage for clots or ruptures. Regular checks, a low-sodium diet, consistent exercise, and prescribed medication are your primary defenses here. Next, diabetes. High blood sugar levels over time severely damage blood vessels throughout your body, including your brain. Managing your blood sugar through diet, exercise, and medication is non-negotiable. Then there's high cholesterol. Too much bad cholesterol, LDL, leads to plaque buildup in your arteries, narrowing them and making them prone to blockages. A diet low in saturated and trans fats, rich in fiber, combined with exercise can make a huge difference. And we can't ignore smoking. Every puff damages blood vessels, increases blood clot formation, and thickens the blood, accelerating the risk of stroke dramatically. Quitting smoking is arguably the single most impactful step you can take for stroke prevention. Finally, obesity and a sedentary lifestyle contribute to almost all other risk factors, putting immense strain on your heart and vascular system. Regular physical activity. Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise most days, and a balanced diet are foundational. Let me share the story of Min, a beloved retired teacher. For years, Min enjoyed hearty meals with friends, rarely exercised, and quietly ignored his doctor's warnings about rising blood pressure. He believed his age was catching up, and a little indulgence never hurt anyone. But then, one morning, he experienced a TIA, a sudden, brief numbness in his left hand and difficulty finding words. It passed quickly, but the fear lingered. That whisper before the storm was his wake-up call. Terrified of becoming a burden to his family, Min committed to change. He started walking 30 minutes every morning, swapped fried foods for fresh vegetables, and meticulously took his blood pressure medication. It wasn't easy, but with the support of his family, he transformed his lifestyle. Within a year, his blood pressure was stable, his energy levels soared, and the threat of stroke receded dramatically. Min's story isn't just about avoiding a catastrophe. It's about reclaiming vitality and showing that it's never too late to take control. These aren't just medical statistics, they are personal choices that build your shield, piece by precious piece. Your health is not a passive journey, it's an active daily commitment. By understanding and proactively managing these risk factors, you're not just preventing a potential stroke, you're investing in a longer, healthier, and more vibrant future for yourself and your loved ones. Which of these risk factors resonates most with your current lifestyle? Take a moment to reflect in the comments. While prevention is our strongest shield, what happens when the storm does strike and every second truly counts? Next, we'll witness the first modern miracle that can turn the tide in the middle of an attack. What if a tiny clot could steal everything, but a precise chemical key could unlock your future, if found in time? You've armed yourself with prevention strategies, and you know the Be Fast signs. But what if, despite all precautions, a stroke still strikes? This is where modern medicine steps in with what I call the miracle of minutes. Part 1. Thrombolysis, the chemical unclogger. This isn't science fiction, it's a reality that has saved countless lives. Imagine Mr. Carson, a vibrant 57-year-old, a dedicated father, and a loving husband. It was a typical Tuesday evening. He was on the couch, laughing at a TV show. His wife, sensing something was off, asked if he was okay. He tried to respond, but his words came out garbled, and his left arm felt like dead weight. Mrs. Carson, her heart pounding, instantly recognized the Be Fast signs. The image of her husband, usually so full of life, now struggling, terrified her. There was no hesitation. She didn't try to help him to the car. She grabbed her phone and dialed 911, clearly stating, "My husband is having a stroke, his speech is slurred, and his left arm is weak. It started just a few minutes ago." Within what felt like an eternity but was actually mere minutes, the paramedics arrived. They performed a rapid assessment, confirming the suspicion, and crucially, noted the time of symptom onset. This detail, as we'll see, is absolutely vital. Mr. Carson was rushed directly to a certified stroke center, not just any hospital. This specialized center had a dedicated team, neurologists, radiologists, and nurses ready and waiting. After a swift CT scan confirmed an ischemic stroke, meaning a clot, not a bleed, the decision was made. The doctors quickly administered a powerful medication called alteplase, also known as TPA, tissue plasminogen activator. Think of it as a highly sophisticated, targeted chemical drain cleaner for your brain.
This intravenous drug travels through the bloodstream, seeking out and dissolving the blood clot that is blocking the artery, literally restoring blood flow to the oxygen-starved brain tissue. The tension in the waiting room was palpable. Mrs. Carson held her breath. But then, about 30 minutes after the infusion began, a nurse emerged with a smile. "Mr. Carson is moving his left hand again," she announced. Tears streamed down Mrs. Carson's face. The clot was gone. This wasn't just a recovery, it was a profound testament to the power of timely action. But here's the crucial catch. Thrombolysis only works if it's given within a very specific golden window, typically 4.5 hours from the onset of symptoms. After this critical time frame, the risks of treatment, particularly brain bleeding, often outweigh the potential benefits. This is why knowing the Be Fast signs and acting immediately by calling 911 and noting the symptom onset time is not just helpful. It's the difference between profound disability and a full recovery, between a life stolen and a life reclaimed. Mr. Carson's quick recovery wasn't solely due to the amazing drug. It was the entire system working together, initiated by his wife's decisive action. Without that rapid recognition and journey to a specialized stroke center, this miracle wouldn't have been possible. Knowing about thrombolysis, what's one key takeaway you'll share with your family today? But what if the clock runs out? What if the clot is too large for the medicine to dissolve, or the symptoms start when no one is watching? That's when we turn to an even more incredible, modern marvel, mechanical thrombectomy. Let's dive into part 2 of our Miracle of Minutes. What if the clock ran out and medicine couldn't reach? Discover the surgical fishing miracle that snatches life back from the brink. Last time, we witnessed the incredible power of thrombolysis, the chemical unclogger that can dissolve a clot if caught within the golden 4.5-hour window. But what if that window is missed? What if the clot is too large for the medicine to dissolve, or the symptoms start when no one is watching, making the exact onset time unknown? This is when modern medicine turns to an even more incredible, modern marvel, mechanical thrombectomy, fishing for life. This is part 2 of our Miracle of Minutes. Let me introduce you to Mrs. Maria, a spirited 71-year-old widow who lived independently in her small apartment. One night, around 11:30 p.m., she went to bed feeling perfectly fine. But the next morning, at 7:15 a.m., her alarm rang, and when she tried to turn it off, her left arm wouldn't move. She tried again. Nothing. Sitting up, she suddenly fell, the entire left side of her body paralyzed. She tried to scream, but only garbled sounds escaped her lips. Dragging herself across the floor, she managed to reach her phone. With her trembling right hand, she called her son. Ma, was all he could hear. Panicked, he rushed over, finding his mother on the floor. He immediately called 911. The ambulance arrived quickly, but here was the critical problem. No one knew exactly when Mrs. Maria's stroke had started. Was it at 11:30 p.m., midnight, or just a few hours before her son arrived? This meant she was outside the crucial 4.5-hour window for thrombolysis. 10 years ago, Mrs. Maria's story would have ended here, leading to lifelong disability, perhaps a wheelchair, and profound speech impairment. But this is 2025. At the hospital, after an urgent CT scan and a CT angiogram, which shows the blood vessels in her brain, the neuroradiologist's eyes widened. Large clot, left middle cerebral artery. Total blockage. But there was a glimmer of hope.
Even though the thrombolysis window had closed, Mrs. Maria was still a candidate for mechanical thrombectomy. She was rushed to the interventional suite, a room buzzing with sophisticated monitors and a massive X-ray arch. The team, neuroradiologist, anesthesiologist, nurses, techs, moved with synchronized precision. Mrs. Maria was awake but sedated. The doctor made a tiny puncture in her femoral artery, located in her groin. Just like a heart catheterization, but this time the journey was to her brain. A microcatheter, thinner than a strand of spaghetti, was carefully guided up through her arteries. On the screen, a live map of her body showed the doctor navigating, past the aorta, up the neck arteries, through the carotid, into the delicate cerebral arteries. And there it was, the clot, a dark, jelly-like mass suffocating millions of neurons every minute. The doctor carefully advanced a tiny metal mesh, called a stent retriever, folded inside the microcatheter directly through the clot. Once positioned, he gently opened the mesh. It expanded, wrapping around the clot like a net. 15 seconds. 30 seconds. The room went silent, save for the steady beeping of the monitors. And then, with utmost care, he pulled. Slowly. Controlled. As the catheter emerged, there it was. A black clot, the size of a raisin. At that very second, blood rushed back into Mrs. Maria's brain. Oxygen, nutrients, life. The doctor turned to her. "Mrs. Maria, lift your left arm for me." Silence. Everyone held their breath. Then, slowly, trembling, her arm began to rise. Tears streamed down her face, and the nurse wiped her own eyes. What had just happened was a modern miracle. We had literally fished a clot out of the human brain, stopping a stroke in the middle of its attack. 30 years ago, all doctors could do was give aspirin, control blood pressure, and hope for the best. 20 years ago, thrombolysis offered a breakthrough. But just 10 years ago, mechanical thrombectomy emerged, extending the treatment window up to 24 hours in selected cases, transforming medicine from merely observing the brain die to actively fighting back, entering, fixing, and saving. This is why specialized stroke centers are so vital. They are equipped with the expertise and technology to perform these life-saving procedures, even when all seems lost. What's your biggest takeaway from Mrs. Maria's incredible journey? Share your thoughts below. These miracles of immediate intervention are life-changing, but the journey doesn't end in the operating room. What happens beyond the emergency room, and what does the long road to resilience and recovery truly look like? The immediate crisis is over, but what truly happens when the fight for life transforms into the journey to reclaim it? We've celebrated the incredible medical miracles that can literally snatch life back from the brink, interventions that defy what was once thought impossible. But the truth is, for many, the journey truly begins beyond the emergency room, beyond the operating table. This is the long road to resilience, life after stroke, and comprehensive recovery. It's a path paved with determination, small victories, and sometimes profound challenges. Imagine Kohan, a woman known for her captivating stories and vibrant community spirit. One day, a severe stroke silenced her, leaving her with significant paralysis on one side and aphasia, the inability to speak or understand language. The immediate medical crisis passed, but Kohan woke up to a new, unfamiliar reality. The woman who once charmed everyone with her words now struggled to even form a simple syllable. Her recovery journey became a testament to human spirit. It began with physical therapy, painstakingly relearning how to move her arm to take small, wobbly steps. Every inch of movement was a monumental effort, celebrated by her dedicated therapists and, most importantly, her daughter, Mai, who was her constant shadow and biggest cheerleader. Then came speech therapy, a marathon of frustration and tiny triumphs. Kohan would sit for hours, repeating sounds, pointing to pictures, slowly, agonizingly rebuilding her vocabulary. There were days of tears, of wanting to give up, but Mai would remind her of the stories she once told, the songs she used to sing. And occupational therapy focused on relearning daily tasks, holding a spoon, dressing herself, writing her name, reclaiming the independence the stroke had stolen. This journey isn't just physical, it's deeply emotional. Patients often battle depression, anxiety, and a profound sense of loss for the person they once were. Caregivers, like Mai, face their own emotional and physical exhaustion, balancing their lives with round-the-clock support. It's a shared struggle that demands immense patience, empathy, and unwavering love. But through it all, stories like Ko Hunt's shine brightest. Slowly, painstakingly, she began to communicate again. First, simple words, then short sentences, and eventually the glimmer of her old storytelling charm returned. It wasn't the same as before, but it was her voice, reclaimed. Her journey highlights the absolute necessity of comprehensive rehabilitation and, critically, a strong support system. Connecting with support groups, seeking psychological counseling, and building a network of family and friends are not luxuries. They are fundamental pillars of recovery, transforming isolation into a shared path forward. The resilience shown by stroke survivors and their families is nothing short of heroic, proving that even after the darkest storm, life can be rebuilt, moment by precious moment. If you or someone you know is navigating stroke recovery, what has been the most challenging yet most rewarding part of the journey? Ko Hunt's journey reminds us that while personal resilience is powerful, the infrastructure of care is equally vital. So, in our final segment, let's explore the unsung heroes of stroke care, the specialized stroke centers that make these miracles possible. What if the true hero in a stroke emergency isn't just you, but the specialized place you choose to go? Ko Hunt's journey reminds us that while personal resilience is powerful, the infrastructure of care is equally vital. So, in our final segment before the grand finale, let's explore the unsung heroes of stroke care, the specialized stroke centers that make these miracles possible. You've learned to recognize the signs, you understand the urgency, and you know about the life-saving treatments like thrombolysis and mechanical thrombectomy. But here's a critical piece of the puzzle many overlook: where you get that care. It's not just about reaching any hospital, it's about reaching the right hospital. Imagine a fire breaks out. You wouldn't call a general contractor, you'd call the fire department. In a stroke emergency, you need a specialized fire department for your brain. These are specialized stroke centers, facilities specifically equipped and staffed to deliver rapid, expert stroke care. There are typically two main levels. Primary stroke centers are excellent for initial assessment, stabilization, and administering clot-busting medications like TPA if you arrive within the critical window. They are your first essential line of defense. But for the most complex cases, especially those needing mechanical thrombectomy like Mrs. Maria, you need a comprehensive stroke center. These are the big guns. They boast advanced imaging capabilities like dedicated CT angiograms and MRIs, specialized neuro-ICUs, and a team of neurosurgeons, interventional neuroradiologists, neurologists, and specialized nurses available 24/7. They're built for speed and precision, designed to handle even the most challenging stroke scenarios. Why does this distinction matter so much? Because going to the wrong hospital first can cost precious time and brain cells. Consider the Trin family. Their beloved Ong Trin, 80, woke up with classic stroke symptoms. Panicked, his daughter rushed him to their small community hospital, the closest option. While the local staff did their best, they weren't equipped for advanced interventions. After an initial assessment, it became clear Ong Trin needed a mechanical thrombectomy. The family faced a heartbreaking transfer to a comprehensive stroke center an hour away, losing critical time. By the time he arrived, the window for optimal intervention had narrowed. Statistics consistently show that patients treated at certified stroke centers have significantly higher rates of recovery and lower mortality compared to those treated at general hospitals. This isn't just about fancy equipment, it's about integrated systems, specialized protocols, and expert teams who live and breathe stroke care. So, while calling 911 is paramount and paramedics are trained to take you to the most appropriate facility, it's still wise to know your options. Be aware of the specialized stroke centers in your region. This knowledge, like Be Fast, empowers you to advocate for yourself or your loved ones, ensuring the best possible outcome when time truly is brain. These centers are the unsung heroes, turning potential tragedy into stories of hope and recovery every single day. Do you know where the nearest specialized stroke center is in your area? It's knowledge that could save a life. We've journeyed through the science, the warnings, the miracles of intervention, and the vital role of specialized care. Now, let's bring it all together and understand the incredible power you hold to truly change the story of stroke. What if the true legacy you leave isn't wealth or fame, but the lives you empower and the futures you save? We've journeyed together through the intricate science of stroke, the urgent warnings of TIA, the incredible medical miracles of thrombolysis and mechanical thrombectomy, and the long, resilient road to recovery. We've seen how specialized stroke centers stand as fortresses of hope, ready to fight for every precious brain cell. But as we conclude, I want to emphasize the most critical takeaway of all. The ultimate power to change the story of stroke lies within you. You are the first line of defense. Not the doctors, not the hospitals, but you. Your awareness, your speed, your courage, your decision to act, these are the true superpowers that determine whether a life is stolen or reclaimed. Remember Mr. Carson's wife, whose quick Be Fast recognition initiated a life-saving chain of events. Remember Mrs. Maria's son, whose immediate call to 911, despite the unknown onset time, led to a modern marvel. Remember Ung Min, who transformed his lifestyle after a TIA, choosing health over complacency. And remember Ko Hunt, whose resilience, fueled by her daughter's unwavering support, proved that life can be rebuilt even after the most devastating attack. Each of these stories, each of these victories, began with an individual who understood, who acted, and who cared. This knowledge isn't just information, it's a shield for your family, a beacon for your community, and a legacy you can create. By embracing prevention, mastering the Be Fast test, understanding TIA, and knowing when and where to seek specialized care, you are not just an informed individual. You are a guardian, a hero in the making. You are not just learning to save a life, you are learning to preserve a future, to protect laughter, to safeguard memories, and to ensure that the people you love can continue to live their stories fully. This is the profound impact you can have. So I urge you, don't let this powerful knowledge stop here. Share this video with your family, your friends, your coworkers, your community. Talk about Be Fast around the dinner table. Discuss risk factors with your loved ones. Because one day, someone you care about deeply, or even yourself, might depend entirely on you remembering these words, on you taking action. Let's transform the narrative of stroke from one of fear and helplessness to one of empowerment and hope. Let's make every second count, for every brain cell, for every cherished life. You are the hero of this story, and together we can build a healthier, safer future. Thank you for watching, for learning, and for being part of this vital mission. What's one actionable step you'll take today to empower yourself or someone you love against stroke? Share it below. Stay healthy, stay empowered, and I'll see you in our next video, where we continue to unlock the secrets to a longer, more vibrant life. Bye for now. What if the true legacy you leave isn't wealth or fame, but the lives you empower and the futures you save? We've journeyed together through the intricate science of stroke, the urgent warnings of TIA, the incredible medical miracles of thrombolysis and mechanical thrombectomy, and the long, resilient road to recovery. We've seen how specialized stroke centers stand as fortresses of hope, ready to fight for every precious brain cell. But as we conclude, I want to emphasize the most critical takeaway of all. The ultimate power to change the story of stroke lies within you. You are the first line of defense. Not the doctors, not the hospitals, but you. Your awareness, your speed, your courage, your decision to act, these are the true superpowers that determine whether a life is stolen or reclaimed. Remember Mr. Carson's wife, whose quick be fast recognition initiated a life-saving chain of events. Remember Mrs. Maria's son, whose immediate call to 911, despite the unknown onset time, led to a modern marvel. Remember Ong Min, who transformed his lifestyle after a TIA, choosing health over complacency. And remember Ko Hunt, whose resilience, fueled by her daughter's unwavering support, proved that life can be rebuilt even after the most devastating attack. Each of these stories, each of these victories, began with an individual who understood, who acted, and who cared. This knowledge isn't just information. It's a shield for your family, a beacon for your community, and a legacy you can create. By embracing prevention, mastering the Be Fast test, understanding TIA, and knowing when and where to seek specialized care, you are not just an informed individual, you are a guardian, a hero in the making. You are not just learning to save a life, you are learning to preserve a future, to protect laughter, to safeguard memories, and to ensure that the people you love can continue to live their stories fully. This is the profound impact you can have. So I urge you, don't let this powerful knowledge stop here. Share this video with your family, your friends, your coworkers, your community. Talk about Be Fast around the dinner table. Discuss risk factors with your loved ones. Because one day, someone you care about deeply, or even yourself, might depend entirely on you remembering these words, on you taking action. Let's transform the narrative of stroke from one of fear and helplessness to one of empowerment and hope. Let's make every second count, for every brain cell, for every cherished life. You are the hero of this story, and together we can build a healthier, safer future. Thank you for watching, for learning, and for being part of this vital mission. What's one actionable step you'll take today to empower yourself or someone you love against stroke? Share it below. Stay healthy, stay empowered, and I'll see you in our next video, where we continue to unlock the secrets to a longer, more vibrant life. Bye for now.